Hi, I'm Roxy Rose, and I'm back making another video. Um, if you haven't seen my other videos, please take a look. I made a series of videos dealing with a lot of different issues. Some really important, some a little difficult, and then some are kind of lighthearted and just a bit funny. But today, what we're talking about is transitioning late in life. And today's subject is really for both, young transitioners as well as older trans women. And what we want to talk about today is your first time out in femme, or presenting female. And I say presenting female because most of our lives we presented male. Really, that's more appropriate. Now we're our true selves, and we go out just as we are and how we feel. And previous to that, we were presenting male. But anyways, I want to talk about going out for the first time in public. It could be, quite nerve-wracking and scary to consider. But you don't really have a choice. Most of us girls don't. You have to do it. And you'll want to do it, really. As for me, I put it off for a very long time. I didn't transition until I was 47. I'm 49 now. And I was married for nearly 30 years. So, so I came out little bits by little bit, but never came out fully to my spouse until about 2 years ago. I told her that, yes, I am transgender, and I, among other things, I told her that yes, I have this compulsion that I have to satisfy. I have to go out dressed as a woman, and her reaction then was basically she said, "I don't know if I'm comfortable with that," and I said, "Well, I don't have to do it all the time. Maybe just sometimes." And she still stuck to her guns and said, "I don't know if I'm okay with that. I don't feel good about that." And then I said, "Well, maybe I'll do it by myself, just once in a while. And since I've never done it before, maybe that's all I'll have to do it." And she still kind of insisted that no, she's not okay with that. So I kind of struck out there. What can I say after that? But at the time, I was living part-time in Oregon and part-time in California. And after my spouse had pretty much said, "No, Roxy," I knew I had to do it, even if it meant displeasing her. So I arranged a trip down to California, and I arranged that she would stay in Oregon. I didn't tell her anything about going out in femme. I simply just had to do it. So I went down to California, and this would be truly my first time ever out in, besides wearing undergarments, women's undergarments under my clothes. This would be the first time ever going out with, en femme. So I have a friend down here in California I've known for probably about 40 years. Probably, no, yeah, around 35 years. And he's a gay man, and he's just this really, really nice guy. And I thought, well, then I would choose him. I would pick on him for the day. He would kind of be my wingman. And I didn't tell him I was transgender. He never knew anything of the sort, and I never let on anything like that. I didn't tell him I was going to come down that weekend. I called him and said, "Let's meet for breakfast," and I just showed up at his house presenting female. And he was quite shocked. At first, he thought that Patty had decided to come. Well, Patty's my spouse, but he thought I was Patty at first, which was a little bit flattering. But that was my first time out. I really hadn't ever practiced. I had to borrow clothes, and I borrowed makeup. Don't borrow makeup. gosh, get your own. Learn how to apply it. But I had to kind of rummage through all the discards and pick out things. And so I had foundation that was all dried out, and I had, eyeshadow that was all crumbly. It was quite a pitiful sight, and I wasn't passable. I didn't think I was passable, but I just had to go out. I just assumed that, I wouldn't be passable. In fact, I thought I'd never be passable, really. And this is just something I had to do. And if people judged me or criticized me for it, I was just going to put up with it. Well, so anyways, I was pretty badly made up, and I was borrowing my spouse's clothes, and she's, only 5'4", I'm 5'10", and so that wasn't very nice, but like I said, I was just rummaging through. I just had to do this. So, as I said, I pulled up in front of my friend's house. He was quite shocked, and we went to breakfast. Well, we went to breakfast at this old nostalgic place called the Original Pantry downtown Los Angeles. I love that place. Been going to them ever since I was a kid. But anyways, I'm sitting there. We got seated, and we're sitting there talking. And then just a little while after we got seated, adjacent to us, a big family came in and sat at a big table. And all at once, they turned around and just gawked at me. And they just would not let up. I was getting so nervous. Oh my gosh, they just were just looking right the whole table. And I was just speechless, and I couldn't hold a very good conversation. The funny thing is this is a really old restaurant, and they still have the menus up on the wall, about 8 or 10 different menus. They don't give you a paper menu. There's 8 or 10 menus on the walls, and you have to look up on the wall to order. And yeah, there was one right above my head. So that big table, they finished picking out what they were going to order, and they just turned right around. It had nothing to do with me. But it's kind of funny, how we feel, how us girls kind of feel about people sometimes. But so anyways, we finished breakfast, and I told my friend, I says, God, I'm having such a great day. We just have to make it last. Let's go do something. Well, that was down in Los Angeles, and he knows a lot of people in Hollywood, so I thought that'd be good. He's like I said, he's a gay man, and knows his way around Hollywood. And I thought, well, I'm not very passable, so this will be just great, So we went down to Hollywood Boulevard, and I thought, okay, they have a great homosexual community there, and even a lot of trans women out there, and I thought I'd be just fine. But as we were walking down the street, there was a lady at the bus stop bench. She was sitting on the bench, and she turned around and looked at me, and I don't know why, but she just got really pissed off, and she started yelling at me. She called me a faggot, and she started saying things like, I know what you are, you're just, and oh my God, she just wouldn't let up, and she was quite a buxom lady, and I was a little intimidated. I mean, I'm not a little girl, but she was very kind of big, and she was yelling at me like I don't know why. I'm just still puzzled about that. But so I just kept walking, trying not to pay attention to her. And all the way down the street, she was yelling at me, yelling profanities, and oh gosh. So that wasn't so nice, but I was having such a beautiful day. It doesn't really matter. You take a situation like that, it could be devastating, and I don't blame you if it is devastating to you, but really, we're out there for ourselves. We're not out there for that crazy lady at the bus stop. We're out there for ourselves, and we're out there to feel good about ourselves. We're not out there to make that crazy lady feel good about herself. So if you're having a real big issue with people not being very nice, you have to put everything in its proper place. They're just not nice people out there sometimes. There just isn't sometimes. And there's nothing we could do about it. And so you put it in its proper place. You're there because you like yourself and you feel good about yourself. And it doesn't matter about these other people. But honestly, I know how you feel, because it's hard to turn the other cheek. And it's hard to put on a happy face after something like that happens. And then it's hard to fall asleep at night, not kind of playing over the situation, you know. So I'm really sympathetic. It does happen to all of us. And it's those people, those crazy people's fault. And it's their problem, not yours. Okay? But anyway, so getting on with my day, I was having such a beautiful day in spite of that crazy lady. And I told my friend, no, let's just keep going. Let's go see some more people. And I did. We went around and visited some of his friends, and some of them were a little, you know, taken back, but I didn't care. I was just having a great day. And that was my first day out. But then to kind of top everything off just perfectly, I dropped my friend off back at home, and I went ahead home myself. It was about 8 or 9. It had started to rain, so my hair was getting flat, and my makeup was just wasted, you know, it was just gone. But I pulled into a gas station to get gas, and a truck pulled up on the other side of the island there, and he got gas. He was done first, and kind of a handsome man, you know, cowboyish looking guy, and he drove away. And I was still finishing up pumping my gas, and then all of a sudden he comes back in his truck, and he parks in the same spot, and he starts asking me directions. And they were kind of dumb directions, you know, and when I gave him directions, because I'm familiar with the area, he just wanted to keep talking, you know. He started asking me where I was from, and that he's new around here, and he don't know anybody. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Roxy, you're being hit on. And it was quite an experience, and it's more than just what you're thinking. You see, I've never been hit on, ever. Even when I was presenting mail. Well, when I was presenting mail 30 years ago, I got hit on, and I married her. And that's about the only time I ever got hit on. So here I am, you know, 30 years later, getting hit on really for the first time. At least I feel the first time that somebody's actually hitting on me, because this is who I really am. And yeah, I was just amazed. And I just pretty much had to leave, you know, because he just wouldn't shut up. He just kept talking and wanting to get to know me. And I was so thrilled. What a day, huh? I mean, you have this crazy lady at the bus stop, and then you have, you know, cowboy hitting on you. Wow. But anyway, so, you know, your day's going to be different. Don't worry about it, and don't let those people bother you. They're going to bother you. You're going to feel bad. It's their problem, though. Put that in the right perspective. It is truly their problem. So I'm running over time again, but really, you just focus on you and liking yourself and having a good time, being yourself, and well, I'll see you on another video. Look at my other videos and tell me what you think. And I want to hear your stories about the first time going out. Those are always fun stories. So email me if you get a chance. You could email me through YouTube or whatever website you saw my video on, or you could email me directly, because I love to talk. My email address is myroxyrose@gmail.com. That's myroxyrose@gmail.com. And I always love hearing from you. So I'll see you on another video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.